So today's been one of those days, everybody gets to have them when you're around. And um, I found this note, and I'm going to cover that in a minute. But let me introduce myself. I'm Alan Thomas from Rethink Dieting for Men, part of Transform My Future, and I help men overcome the weight that holds them back from living the futures they were destined to live. And it all really started in 2017 when I was stepped on the scales at 304 pounds. I when I looked down, I was like, oh my God, I'm 5'11", I'm 55 years old, I've got 4 kids from 15 to I guess my oldest is 27 at the time, and a wife of 31 years. We just celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary the day before, and I saw 304 pounds on my scale. 304 pounds, and I'm a guy who's 55 years old, and I realized, oh my God, I've got very few years left to live. And the way I came to that conclusion was, I've been in the life insurance business where I serve the senior market, which is people predominantly over 65. And I could never remember meeting a man 65 years old that was 100 pounds overweight. I couldn't remember really meeting hardly anybody over like 50 years old that was over 100 pounds overweight. And I mean, they're out there, certainly they thin out at 55, they thin out at 60, and they're gone by 65 rather. And so I knew that I had, less and less time to live. And, it meant a lot. I mean, it meant not just, I'd already experienced all those negative things of having your family embarrassed about you and not saying it to your face, but knowing they are, having your, to watch where you sit down, and because the chair wouldn't hold you, having to, go to a theme park and, make sure that you weren't too fat to get on the ride because I was too fat to get on most of them, and having the embarrassment of going into clothing stores and, going to the rack and at the back corner of the store where you've got about that much, to pick from, and really not wanting to buy anything anyway because you really felt so bad about yourself, and, buying the stretchy waistband pants at size 46 because you're really a 48, but you wore the 46 because you didn't want to admit you were a 48, and squeezing into a double X when you really needed a triple X, and on and on and on. And, the worry of meeting somebody that, maybe you went to high school with or college with or knew when you were younger, and all these things, and then being, making yourself the blunt end of the jokes because you knew other people were thinking those things, and all these things that obesity brings on. But mainly it held me back from just so much more. I knew I was going to be my wife's first husband because I'd be dead, she'd be alive, and she'd marry somebody else, and my kids would call somebody else dad, and on and on and on. And I could go on, and I do this every night because, here's the thing. I've been on dozens of diets. I tried all these different things, these cleanses and these weight loss things and all of these things, and they're all good, or most of them are good. I don't know if all of them are good. They all work. But but the problem was between my ears. The problem was really in my mind. And people say, well, how can you say that? You have to change your diet. Of course you have to change your diet. You have to do exercise. Of course you have to do exercise. But was it really, if the diet and the exercise was really the main thing, wouldn't we all have 32-inch waists and six-pack abs? That what really occurred to me was much more than that. And so I publicly committed to losing 129 pounds in 265 days, and I didn't hit that. I lost it 260 days. I don't say any of this to impress you. I say it to you just so you'll get the impact of what happened. And it was the diet I went on. I'd failed at 5 or 6 times before, so nothing was new except the way I looked at it. And so today I lead men out of the prison of obesity. Do we have to figure out a way to get, for them to eat so that they can lose weight? Of course we do. Do they have to exercise some? Of course they do. But is that the magic pill? No. And I don't have the magic pill either. Not as it relates to weight loss, as it relates to the food they eat or the pills they take or any of that. The magic is already there. And, it's interesting. Today we've been running around, and it's, kind of one of those days, like I said earlier. My daughter, my youngest, who was 15, is now 18. She's getting ready to go off to the University of Florida. And tomorrow we go down there. I've been deciding whether to rent a U-Haul or not rent a U-Haul, and to just go in the SUV or to take the car and do all these things and run around. It's been a frustrating day. And I was digging through my drawer and, cleaning out some stuff and, moving some things around and getting ready for the trip because we're going to be gone for a few days, helping her move, get settled in and all. And I run into this note. It's a note I've saved. And it says, she wrote it to me when I was, it was 2016. And she was 14 or 15 years old at the time. And the men I talk to every day, about their obesity, a lot of times they miss the fact that it affects so many other people. And she wrote, she says, Dear Dad, thank you for caring about yourself and me enough to go to the gym. Love, Ashley and Tank. Tank's the family dog, her dog. And so it was on her mind that I was fat and gonna die. It was on my son's mind, who told my wife that, he guessed that I didn't love them enough to get my weight down. And so if you think that you're 100 pounds overweight and it's not affecting your family, you're living in Egypt right now. You're living right by denial. And I say that in sincerity. If you think it's just affecting you, you're crazy. And because I didn't know it affected anybody else other than me. But when I realized that, the impact that it had on me, and then today, finding this note, the day before we're moving her down there, thinking about if I hadn't made those changes, this morning I got up and rode 10 miles on my bike. I was up early because I had energy, because I don't carry around an extra 129 pounds around my waist. I make different choices with my food. My wife and I, are both much healthier. But was it all the diet? No. Something had to dramatically change in my life. And it's allowed me to get to experience the pain in the neck today of going and trying to figure out this whole trailer hitch thing. And we were having trouble with that, and whether to rent the U-Haul or not rent the U-Haul. And their mom is feverishly packing and spending God knows how much money on all the things that she needs or doesn't need. But her mom's running around, and they're running around trying to figure all this stuff out. When our baby girl's going away, I might not have gotten to be here if I hadn't taken time to rethink dieting. If I hadn't taken the time to do that and to do what was necessary to get my weight off, so that I could be here. Was there a guarantee? No, there's no guarantee. I might still be here, but I can tell you there's lots of men that wake up mornings that are over 100 pounds overweight in desperation. There's also men that wake up that are 100 pounds overweight, and they, not that they wake up, they don't wake up. And they get a place in the cemetery, or they get a place on the mantle, and there's a picture of them, and they say, that was my dad, and he's not going to be here. He's not going to be here for today. He's not going to be here for tomorrow. For all these things, these little things, we're going to be running around the University of Florida dormitories trying to meet all the COVID-19 requirements and all the different things and all the frantic stuff. It seems like a pain in the neck, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And so if you're a guy that doesn't think, if you have children or you have anybody that loves you, and you think it's not affecting you, you need to rethink that. You need to rethink that right away, because you might not get a chance to go to the dorm, to go to the wedding, to go to visit your grandkids, to go experience trips and travel and time together. You think it's just shame that you're experiencing, but maybe, just maybe, you're going to get to show up on a day when they need you. And so I figured my daughter, she might be just letting me come along with her and her mother. There's a good chance of that, but I'm the muscle of the trip. So when you're thinking about all this stuff, when you're thinking about your next bite of food, maybe you want to rethink dieting instead. And if you're stuck and you don't know what to do, I help men every day escape the prison of obesity. And it's never what you think. It's always something simpler. But is it easy? Absolutely not. Is it possible? Yes. And I get to watch men who reach their goal weight, but they come alive again. I had one write me about getting his fire back again the other day, and other men, and what's so magnificent about it, and I use a big word like that, is it was always there within them, just like it's always been there within you. And you get a second chance, and you might get to show up at a dormitory helping your daughter move in and do all this stuff and freaking out at the same time because your baby girl's going away, but you get to participate. So if you think it's not a big deal that your weight's that you're 100 or 200 or 50 pounds or whatever overweight, you better rethink that. If you need help rethink dieting, reach out to me at www.transformmyfuture.com/apply. Or you can go watch my masterclass where I give a lot of the techniques that I learned along the way when I escaped obesity in 2017. Go to rethinkdieting.com, and it's about a 48-minute masterclass. It's about 45 minutes, but it's really 48 minutes. And watch that. And you might pick up some things that help you, but if you really want to get serious about it, reach out to me. We'll have an honest conversation. I help guys every day. And I love doing it. I won't be available tomorrow, though. I'm moving my daughter in. So tomorrow is, depending on when you're watching this. So guys, have a great day. I'll join you probably from the University of Florida campus live or somewhere near that, and hear all these bugs or whatever they are that make all this noise in the backyard. But guys, rethink dieting. Might be able to live out one of these notes. So anyway, have a great night.